So Doom the Dark Ages is only about 5 or 6 days away now, or technically 3 to 4 days away if you get the right edition, which we will obviously touch on in this video. And it's fair to say the hype is building with each day that passes. Today, as we always do for each new launch here on the channel, I'm going to be running you guys through each edition of Doom the Dark Ages to help you decide which is the best edition for you. Now, starting off with the boring basics like we always do, just to get them out of the way, the game is launching on PC, Xbox Series X and S, and on the PS5. So unfortunately, it is next generation only for those of you who are still on PS4 or Xbox One, for example. And it will be launching on May 15th, though you can actually play it on the 13th, which we'll get to in just a second. Now, before we get stuck into each edition of the game, today's video is brought to you by Instant Gaming, which if you're already planning on buying Doom the Dark Ages, is definitely the best place to buy the game, as you can already pre-order it for over 20% off. Instant Gaming allows you to buy games a whole lot cheaper, and it's all straight from the authorized resellers. For example, if you go ahead and buy Doom the Dark Ages on here, the CD key is straight from Microsoft itself, not from some dodgy third-party dealer, which you can clearly see from the 4.7 star Trustpilot rating from over 750,000 reviews. You can buy games for every platform, whether those are old games, new releases, or even pre-orders like Doom the Dark Ages, including the editions we'll be covering in today's video. If you're already buying games, why not save yourself some money and do it through Instant Gaming? Head to the link in the description and you'll not only be using my code to get your games for cheaper, but you're also going to be helping me and the channel massively. And a big thank you to Instant Gaming for sponsoring today's video. Now, with that out of the way, there are 3 different editions to go through in today's video, those being the standard edition, the premium edition, which also has a secondary little segment to it that we'll get to in a second, and lastly, the collector's bundle as well. Now, starting off with the standard edition, this one comes in at $69.99 USD, which is obviously just a pretty standard price for games these days, albeit it seems like that is going to be changing in the near future. Now, it is worth noting as well, the game is also launching day one on Game Pass. So if you guys have Game Pass on your Xbox or PC, you can get it day one for quote unquote free. So keep that in mind. But for those buying, like I said, it is $69.99 USD. Now, the standard edition obviously just comes with the game itself. On top of that too, though, there is a pre-order bonus. So if you do pre-order the game, you'll get this awesome Void Doomslayer skin, which I've got to say looks absolutely awesome. Keep in mind as well that pre-order bonus goes for not only the standard edition, but the other editions as well. That is pretty much it though for the standard edition. So moving on to the premium edition, this one comes in at $99.99 USD. So about an extra $30, which isn't too bad at the end of the day. Now, the main selling point for the premium edition is that you can get the game 2 days earlier on May 13th if you do pre-order this premium edition, though there are some other workarounds that we'll get to in a second. Now, you'll also get a campaign DLC at a later date. They haven't really gone into too much detail about what that's going to be just yet, so we're going to have to wait and see as to when that actually launches. But I'd imagine, seeing as this is part of the premium edition, for those who don't get this edition, that will no doubt be at an extra cost to the actual base game. On top of that too, you'll also get the digital art book and the soundtrack as well. If there's ever a game to get the art book for, it's probably Doom the Dark Ages. The art and the overall aesthetic for this game is absolutely elite, so that would no doubt be full of some very awesome art. Lastly, in the premium edition, you'll also get the Divinity skin pack, which includes these awesome skins you can see here for the dragon mount thing that we get to use. There's also a skin here for Doomslayer himself, obviously, and then there's also the Demon Mech skin, which looks pretty cool as well. Now, like I said, that's it for the premium edition. That is $99.99 USD, but it is also worth noting that you can, like I said, get this game on Game Pass for quote unquote free, but you can also buy the premium upgrade, which is a separate thing from the actual premium edition itself. And the premium upgrade only costs about $35 USD, which will allow you to get the game 2 days early, but then you're also still using the Game Pass edition, if that makes sense. So technically speaking, if you guys have Game Pass, you can actually get the premium edition of the game for $35 USD, meaning you'll get everything that I just mentioned without having to pay $99 USD. So keep that in mind. You can find the premium upgrade on the Xbox store, both on your Xbox and on PC. And like I said, it is very important to note that is separate from the premium edition. There is one called the premium edition. There is one called the premium upgrade. If you get the upgrade, that allows you to still use the Game Pass version. Technically technically meaning you're getting the premium edition of the game for only about $35. And so if you guys are keen to play the game early but don't want to pay that big price tag, this is definitely the way to do it. Now, last but definitely not least, we have got the collector's bundle, which comes in at $199.99 USD. Now, as far as collector's editions go, or collector's bundle in this case, there's not too much going on here. It is essentially everything you'll get in the premium edition with 2 extra bonuses as well. Now, the first bonus is a 12-inch Doomslayer statue, which I've got to say looks absolutely sick. Genuinely, every single game that has a collector's edition, it's so hard for me to not go out and just buy all of these statues because they look absolutely awesome. So if you are a big Doom fan, that is definitely one that's going to be enticing. And on top of that too, you'll also get a keycard replica in your steelbook as well. So not only do you get the steelbook, but you'll also get this little keycard like you can see here. So technically you're getting only an extra 3 things on top of the premium edition, but obviously that statue of Doomslayer is where that price comes from. So that is pretty much it for the collector's bundle. Like I said, it's not a whole lot going on compared to a lot of games that have like an extra 5 to 10 bonuses, but in saying that, it's also quite a bit cheaper than most collector's editions out there. But that is it for each edition of Doom The Dark Ages, guys. I'm keen to hear all of your thoughts down below on which one you think is the best bang for your buck. I've got to say, getting it on Game Pass, but then just getting the premium upgrade for $35, to me, that sounds the best bang for your buck because you're pretty much getting the premium edition for a third of the actual price. So for me, that is the best way to do it. Or obviously, if you don't want to pay anything, just get the game on Game Pass if you are on PC or Xbox. If you're planning on not using Game Pass though, and you do want to buy the game, like I said, be sure to go and check out Instant Gaming through the link in the description. It is literally just so much better to do it that way. You're getting the game cheaper. And on top of that too, you are helping me out massively here on the channel. So consider checking that out through that link in the description. But with that being said, thank you all very much for watching. You guys have a great day and I'll catch you all in the next one.